What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert Global Lab patch notes reading for February 20. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I heard today's patch notes were pretty good, and so yeah, it's a little preview of what's coming out throughout the next week, and let's read it. So first of all, let me translate it. It's translated from Korean to English, so I'll try to make it make sense. All right, so we got some class balance changes. Let's see what they're doing. Warrior changes? Holy, these better be good because warriors are not in the greatest spot right now. So we'll see. Warriors have improved stability when entering the battlefield by increasing their defensive. Yeah, that's true. Have you guys noticed that whenever a warrior Q blocks and you try to do any sort of damage, you do like no damage? No matter what your gear is? Yeah, that's warrior. However, having stamina recovery has been adjusted to require more careful management, as it should. Awakened warriors have reflex conditions for the momentum skill to improve this effectiveness. All right, let's see what's happening. Stamina is not restored. You know, I thought warriors needed a buff, and this is not a buff. It's probably for the best, but we shall see. Changed from forward guard to additional resistance to all status effects applied from forward guard and rear. So they removed forward guard but added additional resistance to all status effects. Is that better? I guess that seems very situational, depending on, like, if obviously this is a PvP situation, depending on what class you're fighting. But I would say in most cases, having a forward guard is overall, like, more helpful, but it also depends. Like, the resistances could be nice. Like, if you're fighting a wizard or a witch that just slows you consistently, or, you know, like a shy bubble or something like that. So, I don't know. This is a tricky one to talk about, actually. We shall see. Counterattack stance. The knockdown effect. When spinning, a counterattack is successfully changed to only apply to monsters. Ooh, that's not good, actually. Knockdown is one of the strongest CCs in the game, and now that it's only a PvE, how many situations is it that, like, you would need to... I feel like this is just an entirely PvP skill, right? Like, obviously you use it in everything, but to counterattack something is more used in PvP, but now that's only for monsters, which I assume is PvE. I don't know, actually. How many situations are you counterattacking it? Usually, in most grind spots, you just do enough damage, and then that's it. So, I don't know about this one, though. I really don't know about these two either, but we shall see. The 100% crit rate effect for 1 second when using the skill has been removed. That's just straight up nerf, but admittedly, I don't know Warrior well enough. Succession is in shambles right now. All right. Awakening. Added forward guard. That's good. Super armor is added and only applied to monsters. Interesting. Stamina is no longer restored. Damage reduction effects have been removed. These are not looking good, boys. Like, this one, I thought, like, I read this, I was like, oh, okay, so Awakening, you know, Awakening getting buffs, right? And I was like, the first one, added a forward guard. That's great. And then I'm looking at all of these, I'm like, ooh, maybe not so much. Change that so it only, like, you can flow. I assume link means flow when right-clicking is held after balance strike. That, I don't know enough about warriors to know if that's like, you know, it flows better, but who knows. Skills critical hit chance has been changed to apply in PvP as well. That's good. 100% crit chance for 3 seconds when removed. Honestly, even though this sounds like a nerf, there's a lot of ways to get 100% crit chance, and I know this because Dark Knight Succession has to use crit crystals, whereas some other classes are just like, you don't need as many. You like Dark Knight has to use 3 of them to get 100% on everything. So I assuming that you're under like 50% on all your skills at minimum, you can get 100 easily. All right, next, Ranger. I don't know Ranger enough, to be honest. Change that cannot be used during cooldown period. Ooh, I see. Stamina is restored when the skill is in use. The skill has been changed from stamina consuming skill to a mental skill. As a result, stamina is restored. I wish I knew Ranger more to talk about that. Horizontal cut, no longer restored stamina. Dude, Musa, Musa is so fun to play, but then you know how they have infinite movement, or like they are probably the fastest class in the game. You can just keep dashing, hold right click and something. But now that their stamina is getting cut from some of them, I don't know about that one. It doesn't seem too bad, but you know, but they're cutting some of them, so who knows? Meiwa added an effect that increases attack power by 20 for 10 seconds when using the skill. I don't know what the English name is for this one, but I noticed the picture. That's good. Added a forward guard, added air smash, and this is like a PvP. Yeah, this is like a PvP buff. That's good, actually. PvP damage changes and change to match the attack range. Ninja. Concept of poison. Poison is reduced. Actual damage. You know, I've always thought that ninjas would be more on bleed damage because they have add-ons for that with actual bleed, so I thought it would stack more. Admittedly, I don't know ninja well enough to talk about any of this. Sage. Super armor during aerial executions. So you know how Sage jumps up in the air and teleports? It's now super armor from invincibility. It's probably, realistically, it's probably fine. Defense judgment. Invincibility to super armor. And then after the changes, super armor to invincibility, then super armor. So like when you teleport, you're teleporting forward, that's super armor, and then when you move, like the blue thingy, I believe, that's invincibility, and then it goes back into super armor. Realistically, it's probably fine, and it's probably, I don't know though. Scholar. Invincibility effect will be changed to super armor for some of her skills. This will prevent her from being pulled in during aerial. Dude, I don't know Scholar enough, but like when I played it through seasons, it felt like there were only 5 or 6 skills. You jump in the air, big slam, and then you do big damage. So I assume that's what aerial attacks mean when you do that teleport into the sky and slam down. Super armor has been changed from aerial actions, excluding invincibility. invincibility to super armor. Same here and here. Interesting. I actually thought like scholars are hard to fight in PvP. They just, I guess that was why, because they're always on invincibility. But yeah, in my experience from RBF and just dueling some friends, I always thought scholars were kind of hard to fight. Actually, they just move a lot. Deadeye uses a range distance revolver abilities on single target. So what are they changing? Okay, so they're changing distance damage, but not number damage. I see. Stun for PvE only. And that actually, in my experience, dueling Deadeyes, their range of their abilities hits off screen. So this actually might be a pretty good thing for everyone that's not a Deadeye, actually, and you're a PvPer. PvP damage. That just looks like a buff. That's good. Wukong. I don't know what any of these mean. Is that the gourd effect? Is this the gourd skill when the bottle fills up and then you go kind of like 100 to 0, kind of like Awakening Nova ability? Is that what it means? Class modifications and changes. Ooh, there's some Dark Knight changes. These are all Awakening. So if you play Succession, irrelevant. If you're Awakening, things look like they are going to flow smoother. That's about it. Edania hunting monsters. New hunting spots. I actually did a video, I guess earlier today if you're watching this, where I brought in a special guest, another BDO partner that's a very high guru hunter. So if you want to watch that, I'd recommend it, just because it's we taught you like literally everything, what you need to know from beginner 1 all the way to guru. We talked about all the important questions you might have. So if you want to watch that, I'll leave a link in the description. But I thought it was a special one. We brought in a special guest to talk about hunting in general. So if you're interested in all of this after reading it, we have a full-on everything you need to know about hunting guide now. New items for hunting outside Edania. Cool. We'll figure that out. New house furniture buffs. This one looks like a good one, especially for all of you hunter mains. Mastery is, I assume, what it's talking about. And then the one that matters is the ones that give AP. That one looks cool, actually. I kind of want one I want to actually collect a lot of these like furnitures just to have it, even if there's like no buff. I just want it like decoration. Okay. Manor furniture. That's cool. Oh, Edania stuff. Remember those gathering videos that I made a while ago on best spots to do for gathering? Now you can actually use it on house decorations. I think that's cool. Sycraia underwater, the grind spot. This is probably the main attraction for a lot of people, the new 395 spot. Yeah, I'm excited, actually. I need a new grind spot. Star's End is cool and all, but man, do I hate backtracking like in that grind spot. If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. But I just want to go circles pack to pack. I don't want to go kill a crystal, do that, go forward, pop another crystal, go back and loot. Dude, it's kind of frustrating. It's not frustrating, it's annoying, but I just want a pack to pack grind spot again that's not a tower. So yeah, looks new grind spot. Let's see. We heard it's gonna be the new end game spot. There's gonna be a new crystal, but it's not new. It's just giving AP on top of your CC resist crystals that we've talked about before. So let's see. Attack power required 1905. Sycraia does not have a species type. That's why it's balanced around that one. Defense power at 800. Unless you are like full Oct to deck Edania armor, chances are you are not hitting 800. And then attack power limit 1935. This one is we'll try it on day one. I have to go full buff to reach AP caps, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, as we were talking about, new crystals, kind of like the Star's End one and all the other ones, you have to get like 30 of them. I really wish they would stop using magical shards for everything, because there's like 1.1 million orders on the NA server at least. I heard that this is not an issue on the Korean servers, but at least on NA, if you need magical shards, black magic crystals, you have to grind it yourself, which it is what it is. This event that they added, it did really help, not gonna lie. So we shall see. But basically, these crystals, you know how it gives the CC resist, now gives 4 AP on top of it. It probably helps. So, due to the addition of the Sycraia crystal, magic crystals will be removed during the regular maintenance, and the corresponding amount of silver will be paid. RBF. Oh, okay. So these are all the RBF crystals that we have. So I should, in theory, if they're getting rid of them, I should be making a couple billion, because I have a bunch of them just sitting there because I use them. Oh yeah, so apparently you can go to Sycraia now just from Velia through an NPC. You don't need a boat. So that's good. That's very good. So they really need to do something with those Cicrid songs. They were good back in the day when Krogdalo gear was like hard to get. Nowadays, people just get them pretty easily. And you know, one thing I'm very happy about is I got my merchant ring, so I am done with upper, and I don't need to be there anymore. So that's good. Okay. It's telling you to give Debos the extra boxes for the titles. You can now get to Sycraia from the NPCs, handing over a piece of the deep sea. Chances are we all probably have literal thousands of them, or at least hundreds of them. That's cool. Zephyros Castle and Star's End. The probability of obtaining items when defeating monsters in the Zephyros Castle and Star's End has been changed. Red Creation Radiance. I think these are the dyes that you get. Like, you know how you collect 100 of the dyes and then make the glow for your weapon and armor? I think that's what they are talking about. This is probably the translation, because there's only like two things that I know that's red and purple, and it's the dyes that come from these two spots. So, you know, just an educated guess is probably what they're talking about. Approximately 42% reduction compared to before. 66% reduction compared to before. Wait, so they are nerfing dye drop rates? Holy dude, that's not good, actually. Why don't they want to make these? Like, the purple one isn't even common. Like, people are getting them, but it's not common. And then Star's End is a 70% drop across the board. This is a nerf, right? Why are they doing this? Maybe it's a translation error, but 70% reduction for getting those like pigments or whatever the dye fragments, that's not good, right? Like they're already pretty hard to get, and then it's dropping it even more. New titles for main story. I hope that you get these by, if you've already done them and you just get them, because there's zero shot I want to do that again for some extra titles. A new item, you know, those things that increase your Origin of Dark Hungers. I assume that is the newer version and is probably going to be better. So the maximum price is double the Dark Origin Hunger thingies, and I assume that's what it is. So it's probably like double the value, but it's kind of interesting. Was there really a problem? I don't know. A 100 stack and you use 2 bill, you get a 150 stack. Holy, okay. Yeah, so you should be using them up until like 290-ish, and then after that you could just use the other ones like the Faint or the not 2 billion one, the Origins of the whatever they call it, the green cookie, and then that's when you use it from 290 and above. I didn't really think we had a problem for with these. These just kind of sit on the market, but apparently they need to add more of them for some reason. This is what's wrong with the game. They add like 4 currencies that are the exact same thing but slightly better, and then they could just, you know, tweak the ones that they already have. Like, what in the world? It's whatever. Improved Dark Predation efficiency, which uses weapons and armors as material. What does this mean? Tet and pen are possible. Dark Predation. I am not really sure how that is connected, but I think we'll test this out on the live server in a week or two, whenever that happens. Lifeskill buff. You know the like Blessing of Mystical Beast, those scrolls that you make? The portable, you know, like AP scrolls, DP, accuracy, and all that stuff. I think they're adding a life skill one. That's good. Tooltip change for making it more obvious on how to craft things. That's good. Requests and knowledge, NPC stuff. UI fix. Changes. Every week, I like looking at this. There's always some controller issues that's going on. Wait, so controllers, you have to press 3 buttons to enter the Edania throne? Holy, just... Can't you, like... I know this is obviously personal preference, but, like, if you're on console, isn't, like, don't some of the controllers literally have a keyboard on it? Like, it's like you hold your controller normally, but then there's, like, a keyboard under it that, like, attaches to it. Isn't that a thing that you could just click to enter or something? It's not like a full-on keyboard, but it's just like, here, you could, you know how like you could type to people on console? I remember that being a thing, but I don't use it. Either way, dang, console has depressed extra buttons that you just unnecessary. And then a lot of quality of life and or just ran obvious bug fixes. Okay, well, interesting patch notes today. I feel like the highlight was the new hunting spots, and also Sycraia underwater, the revamp for all of you endgame grinders. Lifeskillers who do hunting got new stuff coming out next week. New crystals for us to go for, and new furnishings for house decorating. I think that's about it, and some various changes. I don't know about these. Maybe if you're an expert on the class, you could tell me, but some of these just did not seem good. I'm not gonna lie, just by looking at, it just didn't seem that good. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys come back. We got a bunch of stuff coming out in the next few days. Of course, we're going to be trying out the new hunting spot. I'm going to try to push myself to Guru so we can just get better at it. And then also we'll be doing the new Sycraia spot, of course, next week as well. So that's all for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.